Shabak, you want to listen? She doesn't like the parachute ending by Birdie Nom Nom. Anyway, so day 3 of doing amplifiers. We are still using the SMSL VMVD1 DAC. Feeding now RCA out twice with these splitters. And then this is the Geshelli Archel 2.5 Pro. The 2.0 has only RCA inputs. The 2.5 has XLR inputs. Not a balanced amp though. Still only a 1/4 inch. But it is built internally balanced. Maybe I'll explain later, maybe I won't. But everything's hooked up. And what I've got it paired off against is the other weak amp in this shootout for this week-long thing. So this is the old hat. This is the one. Now, I did the shootout last year, and I basically split the difference between the Liquid Spark and the JDS Labs Atom. This could very easily be the Liquid Spark. I'm going to link the Liquid Spark in this video as well as tomorrow's video or the day after that. Whenever I do the roundup, maybe I'll break it up a little bit before I do the roundup video. But this represents the best you could get a year ago. And so having Geshelli, this be the only one here, I wasn't going to go the 2.5 versus the 2.0 because it's just a matter of XLRs so I could switch them to find out. I figured this would be a good one just to sit down, power-wise, because I don't want to keep referencing the other stuff because that's going to be for the overall. But I think this I study this shit and then I forget. Let's see. This is for the Geshelli. We're looking at 1 watt per channel at 16 ohms. So 16 ohms. The lower that number gets, the higher the number gets. This is like 2.8 watts a channel. So this is only 1. But this is only 1 watt per channel at 32 ohms. So they're both like relatively weak. A watt even showing up on the specs at all is like unimaginable 2.5 years ago. Like, wow, a watt? Really? A watt? Oh my lord, that's so much. So why care if these are the least powerful Zeos? I don't understand. Well, you see these pieces of paper. These are measurements, and they're available online, but these are the ones sent to me by Geshelli. And all those zeros for total harmonic distortion plus noise, and that crosstalk, and oof, signal to noise ratio, many zeros. And the JDS Labs is no slouch either. We go to their specs, you're looking at 0.0012, 0.0002, 0.0005%. Basically, these two are the least powerful, but measure the cleanest. The only one that might compete, maybe the Heresy, and frankly, it's like, but then that topping also has some pretty bizarre numbers, which I could look up, but we'll do that in the combined. These two are the sleek Italian racers. They don't weigh a lot. They don't have very big engines. They're both 4 cylinders, but for some reason they can pull out 200 horsepower per liter. So, I don't know, it's a car reference. Did you get it? Wallpaper in the description. That'll distract you. Chewbacca, what are you doing down here? That's her call, by the way. So, quality of signal now. How'd you appear? Where'd you come from? Oh, here. Sit here. Help me with this review. I need your static and your hair all over everything. Okay, so you know what the JDS Labs Atom is. I'll quickly re-review it. Plugs in transformer, 16 volts, same as everything that JDS Labs puts out. RCA in, RCA out. Preamp also has a 3.5 millimeter in. No, that is illegal. What you are doing is illegal. Yeah, I love you, but not climb on my desk while I'm doing a review. Love you. That's a whole different level of butt fuckery. All right, I'm gonna leave this hand for her and this hand for you guys. So 1/4 inch, we got a gain switch. You got an input switch between RCA and 3.5, and it's made out of like recycled milk containers. It's the worst built headphone amplifier you can buy. The volume knob is plastic. It feels plastic. There's a light behind it. It goes click to shut off. It goes click to turn on. It's $100. If it wasn't made of recycled Chinese food soup containers, they'd probably charge like $130 for it. So I'm fine with it being made out of like bumper car, whatever shitty plastic and bumper cars. You just gonna stand there, stand now? Here. The Geshelli, on the other hand, and you're not gonna find this color because Geshelli and me have a relationship. They used to send me amps made of mirrors to piss me off. And I'm like, ha 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 ha. And then, so they always test materials and stuff with me. And she's like, hey, let's send one that's white with purple. And you're all going to want it. Here's how this goes. I review something, and you see it, and then you start emailing JDS Labs, and they're like, fuck, now we got to order 17 white ones with purple lenses, because it looks cool as fuck. And in case you don't know how it works, power supply in the back. I'll show you the difference in size and power supply, which is going to be real interesting. Here's our XLR inputs and 2 RCA inputs, somehow all fitting on the back of this. The front, just exposed buttons. You could tell this, they print their own circuit boards in the closet. They actually finally got a shop next to, I actually spoke to them. They were at MagFest. Apparently they're next to like a homeless den. And if they leave the door open while they're doing things, like the homeless people are wandering by. So they're moving up in the world. I wonder how many other audio places started around those sort of not great areas. So exposed buttons, you literally just press. In this case, the power button, hold to turn off, press to turn on. It does that crazy light flash. And you can actually choose if you want purple, which is red and blue, red or blue or nothing, to just light it up. I'm going to leave purple on because purple with purple. The input selector, the other button on here, lets you choose between the 2 inputs, and a hold will shut off that, which means low gain. Low gain, high gain, RCA. There's no indicator to show RCA or XLR. You're going to have to figure that out. I kind of wish they would put something that I could see. Usually there's like an indicator somewhere, but I'm not seeing it on this one. So basically, I just, whichever input is slightly louder because they're coming off the same source, that's the XLR. Single 1/4 inch. Now, having balanced inputs and a single 1/4 inch output is sort of strange. When they told me they were sending me the new balanced inputting amp, I was like, oh good, I'll get my 4.4 Pentac, I'll get my 4.4 out so I can plug it in. It just doesn't go. And they explained to me slightly why this is. You see, they've made the Enog 2, that DAC, forever now. Because the owner makes the DACs SPDIF only, and they have balanced output, but you can't hook it up to their own headphone amplifier balance. So they added the ability, and they've kept it balanced as far through the unit as they could. And then it actually is, according to him, the cleaner way to get signal into this is the balance. It has nothing to do with the actual connection. It's got to do with the voltage, because you're sending a higher voltage into the amp, and because the voltage is coming in higher, it has to do less amplification. So since the amp has to do less, it fucks with it less. So your signal is whatever your signal is. And I'm using a $1,300 DAC. You're just going to sit there paying attention? So the less it has to mess with this, the more of the original signal it can keep and just boost slightly. So if you do have the option to balance it, do so. Now, this is also the first headphone amplifier they've added a high-low gain. One of the reasons the last Geshelli stack was weird was the high-low medium gain was on the DAC. The Geshelli Enog 2 DAC actually has, you press and hold and it goes down, down, back up to full. And I actually run it on medium for my 789s, because the 789s, if you over voltage the balanced input, high gain clips. So I run that at medium gain, and I run those either on medium or high gain, and then everything's great. So you can now take advantage of all of that with your headphone amp. So what did I just have in the 600s? Going back and forth. The biggest praise I can give to anything is it sounds as clean as. Now here's the difference. If I'm running the Geshelli off of RCA, just like I'm running the JDS Labs off of RCA, it's close. it's real close. Power-wise, it's close. Run them both on high gain for like the T20s, high gain for the 600s, then low gain or high gain depending on how you want to adjust the knob for the Aeolus and the Neumanns. Neumanns being closed are only 150 ohms, but they need like a little more sometimes. And when you're comparing RCA to RCA, it's close. Now this is more money. This is like 170 right now. So it's really price comparison closer to the topping, but they're both still the low power versions. That thing is ridiculous amounts of power at all times, kill you in your face, your whole face, and is truly balanced. Here's the thing, that's a balanced amplifier with a balanced connection, but only RCA inputs, just like this. And this is a balanced inputting amp with only single-ended output. Hi. Plug this back in. So what was the first thing I noticed? Zios, could you please tell us about your perfect Sunday and the first thing you noticed when you started playing music on these things? Well, I sure can. Hold on. Lindsey Sterling did a Game of Thrones song? What? Lindsey Sterling and Peter Holland's Game of Thrones main title. That is way too loud. I'm going to put on low gain. See, low gain, the gains on these 2 amps, because I'm sort of re-reviewing the Atom, the gains in these 2 amps acts more normal than those guys. Where the actual high-low gains, I don't want to get into this, I want to get into it in the overall, but the high and low gains in the shits literally affected the way it sounded more than just the voltage. And that one, you can't put on the high gain, your headphones turn into flamethrowers. So this is more like, I'm using the volume knob and I'm going, and I'm like 2, 3 o'clock. I probably would have switched to high and bring it like back down. And it's fine. Both have very large jumps in gain though. I think that was one of my complaints in the original Atom review. Like you get up there and like loud, like 1 o'clock, 1.5 o'clock on low gain is like loud. So if I put on high gain, now it's like 10 o'clock is loud. So it's like a big swing, and it's the exact same issue, call it an issue with the Geshelli. If I lower this down, I'm all the way there. I'm 3 o'clock to get this song to be loud. Then if I lower it, click on the high gain, 11 o'clock wants to blow my eardrums out. And that's on the RCA input. The secret to this, where this pulls ahead of this, is when you click that again, and now we're using the balanced input. And this is one of the very few cases where I can, it's not just the volume is slightly louder. So everything I just said, now instead of here being loud, now there is loud. Instead of there being loud, now there is loud. Because it is a little bump. It takes into account the higher voltage, but it's like 2 volt to 4 volt. It's double the voltage coming in, and what it does is it doesn't have to amplify as much, and it knows that. So it tones down the amplification, but you're still getting more signal. So it is slightly louder, and slightly clearer, and slightly wider, and slightly more refined, and that officially beats the Atom. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, that's I'm saying words now, alright? These are big fucking scary words. That is also entirely too much power for high gain. I'm putting it back to low gain. But XLR input on the Geshelli Archel 2 Pro, balanced input, and you don't have to be running a $1,300 balanced DAC. You could run their DAC, obviously would be a good match. SU8, the Grace S DAC. There's a whole ton of like the SMSL M300, SMSL M500. I could literally list almost endless balanced DACs now because, again, best time to be wanting to buy a headphone thing ever is the last 6 or 7 years. As soon as I started my channel, all the history of headphones being like things is just better. Everything's better. Oh my god, look how affordable balanced DACs are. Look how good the headphones have gotten. Oh my god, the amplifier, THX technology, songs and formats and FLAC and, well, mostly FLAC. I don't give a shit about DSD yet. I'm going to debunk that. I swear I'm going to debunk it. I'm also going to debunk vinyl. I went to look and there's no record player here, so we'll get to those, boys. Don't worry. All right, so low gain now. XLR input. balanced input. Keeping in mind this is not a balanced outputting DAC, but the internals deal with the balanced input better. It's less restricted. It has to do less work because we're now coming in with a higher voltage. 12 o'clock, low gain, HC600s. This is the best they've ever sounded on a solid state. Let's take these off, because I listen to these all the time and I love them and I want you to see them. I'm going to plop them right here. And let's go with something more expensive. See, now I'm past 12, about like 1. And low gain may not be enough. Ooh, but high gain is so much, so it's edgy. It's like, For having the least amount of power of all the amps, I'm almost the scaredest to turn the volume up with this one. On this particular set of headphones, this sounds warmer. The JDS Labs Atom, and I had it on high gain. Let's try low gain. See, now we're getting back to where the headphone changes the amp, because low gain, JDS Labs Atom, Aeolus, dull. High gain, JDS Labs Atom, warm. High gain, Geshelli Labs, balanced. It's not sibilant, but I'm barely turning the knob. Like, the volume knob is now fucking 9 o'clock. Loud, loud. Low gain. Oh, Bank Sound Tech. Oh, holy night. But now I can max out the volume knob. It's loud, but I'm maxing out the volume knob. So you got to pick. If you are doing balanced input, you're sort of put in this weird spot. I've got these 4 headphones out. And you're sort of put in this weird spot of choosing. It's a little bit too quiet on low gain, but it's very loud on high gain because it's a 6x multiplier. So you're going to have to just pick and choose which one you think works best for your headphone. Wait, usually they're on the left, but this is Neumann and it's on the right. Let's put this bitch in. Start with the JDS. Low gain, 1 high gain. Oh, I had the volume all the way down, my bad. I will also complain, like I always do, that the indicator on the volume knob is not enough. That is a white dot, and this is a little slash, and I want it to be like a bigger slash, like an arrow or something that goes down the length. All right, I'm going to up this to high gain. Change the mood, make it blue in here. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm listening to goddamn Steel Drum Christmas. Because I don't know of any other, literally went on a search to find steel drums, because those things are big and impactful. Found Banks Sound Tech, Steel Drum Christmas. It's who you're watching right now, all right? It's who I am. It defines me. Let's try something else, though. KMFDM Virus from the Johnny Mnemonic soundtrack. This being my most critical set of headphones. Like, I love my 600s, and god damn it, Aeolus. This set of Neumanns. This is the one that I take if I'm going to Can Jam and I said, okay, I have to bring a set of headphones to test amplifiers. This is the one I'm taking. Number 1, they're sealed, so it won't matter how loud the room is. Number 2, I trust them with my fucking soul. And when I plug from back and forth to this and this and this and this and this, and then obviously those, this is the final word. HC600s dance with different amps. They dance. Tube amp, oh. Better tube amp, ah. Warm amp, soft amp. Underpowered, overpowered. I could just, it loves and it sounds perfectly different. This just tells me what the fuck's going on. It's like, okay, this is what you're hearing now. All those zeros, now you're going to hear those zeros. Are you ready for it? Because there's no distortion. I can just feel there's no distortion. And this is not exactly the greatest track, but I could tell that too. Now, the JDS Labs sounds harsher than this, comparatively. And I don't get it. They're so clean. This is like a perfect combination. Like these headphones and all the zeros that this makes. This is perfect. This here, they're married now. You're okay. I love you still, baby. But that's the benchmark for these headphones. Something about it. Something about the way it hits. And the way it hits specifically on high gain through XLR, it's more. And I'm sorry if here, look. Boom, numbers, right? You don't take my word for it. Trust in the numbers occasionally. The numbers tell you a lot about how an amplifier or a DAC perform. They won't tell you how a headphone performs. I don't believe in graphs. But them is some either very big or very small numbers is what you're looking at for an amplifier. And JDS Labs has done it with this, but years gone by, and I think these are just slightly edging it out. And then we're going to compare against those tomorrow. I don't think there's any other amps I need to do. Should probably have figured that out beforehand, like the total. I mean, all I have over there is a $260 portable. I mean, that's a MyTech. That's not, you know. I've already done, like, anything on the above $300 range is sort of done already. So I think the next time you see these amps, it'll be the full shootout. So probably not tomorrow. Maybe 2 days from now. I'll have them all gathered on the desk, give you my final opinion comparatively. Because I know which one's the most powerful. And I know which one is the cleanest. But now we got to figure out how the shits stack up to that. Get it? Shit stacks up to that. And then figure out which one is just the best overall. No, you know what? Fuck that. I don't do best overall. Because not a single loser is on this desk. You don't lose. You don't lose. You don't lose. Neither one of those two lose. Nothing loses. I'm sorry, I know people love to, like, kick a loser, but I mean, I should have really looked for the worst possible headphone amp. Tell you what, in the comments of this video, what's the worst headphone amp you've ever used? Not being comical, not like a Pizza Hut fucking portable AM/FM DAC. Like, well, it wouldn't be a DAC, but a portable AM/FM Pizza Hut radio. So tell me what you think there. Links to this, links to that, links to that wallpaper. Feel free to crop that out, put that on your phone, or print it out and put it on your wall and freak people out, because she definitely looks blind. It's weird. But she looks fancy in this purple and the purple here, and she's sort of purple. I'd kind of go with the theme. I'm probably going to be linking to every headphone amp in every video, future videos, so just copy paste all of that in the right order for the videos. We should talk about yard sales that are coming up. I'm probably keeping this one since it's a unique color. And I'm probably keeping this one since it's been here forever, and it is sort of like an easy to pull out reference. Oh, I said I was going to do this. I almost forgot. So here is what the JDS Labs uses. It's a big old 16 volt AC 1 amp brick. And this little cutesy thing, oh, it's so small, is literally the thing that Geshelli Labs uses only one, and they say they found it, they measured it. They are the most consistent, and they can't change it unless they find something better and cheaper. This puts out 12 volt, half an amp. So how the hell does a 12 volt, half an amp, little tiny thing, little tiny baby transformer, it's so small, do that? I don't know. Fucking magic, because it's also doing power things on here. I know that much. There is power stuff happening on the board. Okay. Just going to lower that back down onto the ground like an anchor. So yeah, what was I saying? Yard sales, Patreon, subscribe star, support the channel, blah, 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 blah. Links are down there. Yard sales, I'll definitely have both shits in there probably. And probably one of the A50s, the black one, most likely. because I want to keep the silver one to match that thing. And 1st to the 10th of the month, you get to bid. Pay $5, bid on something, you win. You win. If you don't win, you get to at least look at my content early, a week to 10 days early. You also get to ask me any questions you'd like on those 2 platforms. If you want a more direct, quick question answered, because that could take me like a week to get to all the Patreon questions. But if you want your questions answered quickly, $10 Patreon or Subscribe Star tier gets you into the private Telegram chat, which lives on my phone, where people are on there all the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, talking to me, talking to each other, mostly talking to each other. Sometimes I'll say something, and no one will even acknowledge it. Like, you're paying to be here with me, but apparently they're paying to be here with each other. I don't know. It's like a secret cult thing. I don't like it. But that or Hi-Fi Guides, HiFiGuides.com to find recommendations for amps and speakers and headphones. And the HiFiGuide.com's forum, or forum/Hi-Fi Guide. I forget how the URL is actually formatted. But that place is bumping, and hopefully it's primed to be like a big, actual, used place on the internet for audio. Because I started it with DMS and we don't give a shit. If you see advertisements for expensive cables, we've sold out. Feel free to DDoS hack attack our old site. Just take it out, please, because then we failed. That's it. I'm good here. You're good here. Change that lights to purple. And I'll see you all tomorrow for something that's not a headphone amp. Aren't you happy? I'm happy.